Fel Jorava Hulatonia Hamiro Holacher Fenchkin and Jew. I'm going to talk a bit about the Bàrr mentoring program. Bàrr is a Gaelic language and cultural mentoring program offered by Gaelic Affairs in the Department of Communities, Culture and Heritage. We translate Bàrr as root and branch. Symbolically, it refers to the cultural foundation provided by the Gaels who came before us, and we as new learners we're the new growth or the new branches. This program is about learning language and culture through social interaction. It's about understanding Gaelic from the inside out. Our Gaelic-speaking elders are central to this learning process. They carry the culture and traditions and pass it on in a fresh and dynamic way, as has always been done in Gaelic communities. The reason we feel this approach is important is that it grounds the Gaelic learner in a people and a place. It reestablishes confidence, connections, community, and collective identity. These are often lost when a people are forced to switch from their heritage language to a dominant language. So in our view, Gaelic programming should not just be about a language, but about a people. It needs to recognize the Gaels, their traditions, their songs, their music, history, and cultural practices. It's about reconnecting and reclaiming all of these things so that we ourselves and our communities are swan, to use a Gaelic word, which means healthy and whole. The first Bàrr program was started in 2008. Seamus Watson, who gave the program its name and helped create the program, was the first mentor with apprentices Carmen MacArthur and Shay McMullen. Mary Jane Lamond was involved in the program as both a teacher and learner and as a host. An important part of this program was its residential component, which gave the apprentices time and the mentors time to spend time together and create the language bonds and allow for that immersion to take place. Next year we had 3 mentors and 6 apprentices. One of the challenges in this type of programming is creating that residential immersion experience, or even to have apprentices and mentors that live close enough together to facilitate visiting and conversation. So we work with what we have, and we use technology, we use Skype, we have phone ceilidhs, so that people can keep conversation going if they can't get together. In 2011, we organized a Master Apprentice program which matched apprentices directly with the elder Gaelic speakers. It was a program created by Dr. Leanne Hinton, who's Professor Emeritus of Linguistics at the University of California, Berkeley. She worked with her colleagues in the Advocates for Indigenous California Language Survival, and she came to Nova Scotia in 2011 to train 7 teams in this program. It was a wonderful program in many ways. The apprentices learned a lot more than language, and great friendships were formed, and it got our native speakers active and using the language again and engaged in the community, which is a wonderful thing. From the Master Apprentice program, we realized it's important to match advanced Gaelic learners with the native elder speakers because they can really draw out the cultural knowledge, and they then become the tradition bearers of the future. For now, our advanced speakers are the mentors of today. As very successful learners, they're an inspiration and a support to new learners, and they're a bridge to the older native speaker. We're fortunate to have excellent secondary bilinguals who are fluent and who are choosing to make their home here in Nova Scotia and help rebuild the Gaelic community. Many of our wonderful Gaelic speakers and tradition bearers are no longer with us, but thankfully their voices have been recorded and are available online and on websites such as Drachige Etherin, Kainch Movahed, Strunen Gael, and apprentices can listen, they can discuss, they can transcribe this cultural material with their mentor, and it gives them an opportunity to hear the humor, the dialect, the stories, and again, it puts the language and culture in context and connects it with the people in place. And when we hear these stories, these songs and the stories, these people are alive through their songs and stories. And that's something we want to do in the Gaelic community, is keep the songs, stories, the culture alive in the community. So using the language socially is very important in Bunas Bàrr, and we encourage and support social gatherings. Teams are encouraged to visit with each other, to connect, to visit and speak with other Gaelic speakers in the community. It's important to keep the true meaning of a céilí alive, which is a visit. And that means good conversation. It might mean some music, some songs, some food, maybe a strúpak and a gilak. It's just a nice, warm, fun, convivial environment. In this year's program, we also have professional days for mentors, where they share ideas and lesson plans on how to use seanachas, or the oral tradition, in a lesson plan. And they do these lessons with the apprentices, but they can also be used in Gaelic Affairs classes or with a broader group of learners. And we want to share, we will be sharing some of these lessons on YouTube. We want to see this program grow so that more people join the Gaelic community of learners and more Nova Scotians reclaim their Gaelic language and identity. We've found that learning language through this social language learning process allows people to make a heart connection with the language and its speakers. And once you have that heart connection, you have speakers for life. And they were people who are committed to staying in the province and building communities, and because of their enthusiasm, the culture that they share, and their passion, they in turn will attract others to come and visit and live here in the province. That I believe.